Let's come back to our purchase order handling process and let's assume that now we have a new requirement. The customer may send a request for address change after the purchase order registration. When such a request is received, it is just registered without further action. We can observe that this is sort of an exception to the normal flow, but is different than all others. It is not like the request to change the content of the purchase order, or the request to cancel the purchase order altogether, in which cases we had to interrupt the sub-process for handling purchase orders and take remedial actions. In this case, the customer just wants to notify the seller of a change in the address for the shipment. And this should not lead to interrupting the business process itself. It's just that upon completion, when it comes to shipping the goods, we should use the new address that the customer has communicated. We can do that through non-interrupting boundary events. These non-interrupting boundary events, such as the timer or the message events, are represented with a double dashed border. So it's essentially a catching event, but the border is dashed. The idea is that when such an event is attached to the border of a sub-process, it can occur anytime during the execution of the sub-process. However, when such an event occurs, it will not interrupt the sub-process it is attached to, but it will perform any activity following from the outgoing flow of this event in parallel to the sub-process itself. So the idea is that it must be attached to the boundary of an activity to work. So now, coming back to our purchase order handling process, we can attach an intermediate, non-interrupting, catching message event, label address change received, to the boundary of the handle purchase order subprocess. Upon the receipt of this event, activity update customer address will be performed, upon which this particular path of the business process will be completed. That doesn't mean, as we said, that the remaining business process, so what else is being currently executed in the sub-process, will be interrupted. That will continue as normal.